Welcome to Group 2's final presentation, Lockheed Martin, War and Profit, presented by Greg Shannon, Connor Young, Blake McIsaac, Chris Kitson, and Cole Schledwich. We will begin with an introduction to Lockheed Martin, the defense industry, and background. We will then analyze both the external and internal forces shaping Lockheed Martin's strategic positioning. We will then dive into the various strategies and corporate decisions later on, with a conclusive summary and strategic recommendations going forward for the company. To introduce Lockheed, let's first look at some context for the sector in which Lockheed operates in. Lockheed operates within the highly sensitive military-industrial complex, which provides military with the capabilities to defend their country's security. In recent times, we've had an unfortunate increase in geopolitical tensions, with conflict-related deaths increasing by 45% since 2021, and 80% of Americans fearful of a World War III type scenario on the rise. It truly is an unstable time for our world, and it gives some background to the harsh reality that the defense industry's primary objective is to provide governments with the most powerful weapons they can produce. The defense contractor industry can most logically be segmented on the high level by NATO versus non-NATO aligned defense contractors. Due to the strict regulatory procedures in place and the fact that national security is on the line, defense contractors rarely sell products to both sides of the battle, and if they do, like BAE Systems in 2006, they face serious consequences like the $400 million fine that they incurred. The NATO segment can be further segmented to the USA level, as they account for 65% of NATO's combined defense contracts.
God bless America.
In the USA segment, companies like Lockheed are locked into a oligopolistic industry, where there are currently only 5 U.S. defense companies on contract. Defense contractors offer products within at least one of 7 of the listed domains, and you can find the NATO segment's top players, other than Lockheed Martin, pictured at the bottom. These companies generally generate revenue through highly competitive government contracts. Lockheed Martin is a result of a 1995 merger of 2 companies both founded in 1912, Glenn L. Martin Company and the Lockheed Aircraft Company. Lockheed Martin is the top player in the U.S. segment, as they enjoy the largest volume of U.S. contracts awarded across every single Department of Defense sector. They were able to achieve this feat through its history of credible performance with the government, its deeply diversified product portfolio, and its continuous innovation. The company employs around 7,800 and holds around 350 facilities across NATO-aligned countries. Let's take a look at the 5 forces. The threat of new entrants is relatively weak due to multiple barriers such as high capital requirements, as it costs a lot of money to produce these weapons, and the key thing is the Department of Defense tailors contracts towards bulk weapon production. They also prefer long-standing companies in defense, and they've been awarding less and less contracts to companies since the 80s. Competitive rivalry is very high amongst 5 competitive contractors, but the DoD is concerned about the trend of M&A diminishing competition. The threat of substitution proves to be very low because there's no other way to ensure national security except through diplomacy. Supplier power is weak to moderate, as evident by Lockheed having 7,900 suppliers. It's an oversaturated market, but some specialty suppliers control their key resources, and therefore they have higher power. Lastly, buyer power is very high due to the fact that government contracts are extremely demanding and competitive. Lockheed Martin, for example, is forced to pour a large amount of cash into R&D in order to offer the best quality products at the lowest price to win those contracts. Looking at the industry through the financial lens is attracting, with experts predicting strong industry outlook with compounded annual growth estimated to be 3.58% till 2029, and profit margins of top companies sitting at a healthy 11 to 12%. However, through the 5 forces model lens, the industry is generally unattractive, mainly because of its new entrant struggles, the untouched oligopoly, regulation strongholds, and high capital requirements. It's these industry conditions that shaped Lockheed's strategic position of diverse product portfolios, market-leading innovation, and strong government relationships.
Moving on to internal analysis, starting with the VRIO framework. The first capability chosen is advanced defense technology. Lockheed Martin's investment in R&D has made it a leader in military technology. This focus allows the company to address evolving defense needs with high-performance systems that are difficult for competitors to replicate due to intellectual property and high capital requirements. Its organizational structure aligns technology development with actual defense needs, giving it a sustainable competitive advantage. The next capability is strong government partnerships. So long-term relationships with the U.S. Department of Defense and NATO allies provide Lockheed Martin with stable revenue and exclusive access to significant contracts, reinforcing its industry dominance. Now moving on to value chain and their primary activities. First is inbound logistics. The company enhances supply chain resilience by standardizing parts and using innovations like the intelligent factory framework and 3D printing to improve flexibility. Operations, Lockheed Martin specializes in MMRO services for military and civilian aircraft, supporting global security with a skilled workforce. R&D, defense innovation is a focus with centers like the Lighthouse collaborating on technology such as AI, hypersonics, and robotics. Outbound logistics, collaborations streamline supply chain processes, enhancing delivery times and cost efficiency. Lastly, marketing. The company emphasizes product innovation and competitive pricing through government contracts and digital media. For their secondary activities, we have customer care. They have 24/7 customer care, which includes an AOG resolution center for urgent issues. Sustainability efforts. Lockheed Martin is committed to an energy efficient and climate risk management, saving 25 million kilowatt hours and reducing CO2 emissions in 2023. Procurement. Each division manages its supply chain, with aeronautics overseeing $11.2 billion in procurement. Lockheed Martin excels in operating efficiency, managing $11.2 billion global supply chain and providing 24/7 support to improve aircraft reliability. So looking at their weaknesses, the company faces geopolitical risks that impact sales and export restrictions, limit market opportunities. Long development cycles can delay revenues, and high R&D costs create financial strain.
Please, no! No! No!
Lockheed Martin's generic business-level strategy is focused on product differentiation over cost leadership. The main reason for this strategy has to do with their customers, and their most important customer, which comprises around 70% of their revenue, the U.S. military.
God bless
The U.S. military has a budget of over $900 billion per year, which makes up 40% of the world's military spending. The U.S. military is also not a for-profit company, and therefore are more focused on receiving the best equipment and machines possible over keeping a tight budget. Therefore, Lockheed Martin's best strategy is to create and sell the best products to the U.S. military over having the cheapest products. This strategy of differentiation can be seen in their four major lines of business: aeronautics, space, rotary missile systems, and missile and fire control systems. In all of these lines of business, Lockheed Martin prioritizes product differentiation over cost leadership. And examples of this include the F-15 or the F-35 Lightning II and the Black Hawk helicopter. Both of these products cost tens of millions of dollars to sell to the U.S. military. However, these are considered the best products in the world for what they're meant to do. Therefore, the U.S. military has a very large incentive to buy them. Lockheed Martin's functional strategy can be split up into two parts: quality and innovation. The other two major parts in a company's functional strategy, which is customer responsiveness and efficiency, are less applicable to Lockheed Martin, considering they have one main customer that isn't very price sensitive. How Lockheed Martin achieves its quality comes down to a couple of factors, the first being talent. Lockheed Martin can recruit top talent from top engineering schools through high wages that applicants couldn't find in other places. They also can leverage their brand name and these wages to recruit more senior engineers to the firm. The second way Lockheed Martin has been able to keep a high quality standard is because they don't have the same cost reduction pressures that other companies do. Many companies have to cut costs to improve margins and ends up lowering the quality of their product. An example is Lockheed Martin's competitor, Boeing. However, considering the US government isn't very price sensitive, they don't have the pressure to cut costs, and they can keep quality high. The third way ties into customer responsiveness, and it's that they can tailor their products to what the US government wants at that specific time. The second functional strategy Lockheed Martin employs is innovation. This is because military technology is constantly improving, and if Lockheed Martin doesn't keep up, they can be left behind. The first way Lockheed Martin is able to innovate is the same as how they can keep a high quality standard, through top talent. The second way is through high research and development spending, with an expenditure of $1.5 billion on research and development recorded in their cost of goods sold in 2023. The third way is by creating a culture of innovation. This allows them to innovate while staying focused on product improvements and product creation that will be effective military tools that the US will want to buy.
Lockheed Martin uses vertical integration to give them an edge over their competition. They use both forward and backward vertical integration. Forward integration, using the F-35 as an example, increased their efficiency by having parts ready for clients to do repairs or upgrades, providing this service after the sale that increases the longevity and sustainability of the product while also developing a value creation system in the form of revenue for the service on the aircrafts. For backward integration, we will be using the Sikorsky acquisition. Sikorsky was leading the vertical lift industry in 2015 and contained the supply framework that all military helicopters required. This acquisition helped them save money on external suppliers, provided Lockheed with quality control on the supplies, and helped them become the front runners of the vertical lift industry. Now I'll pass it off to Blake to discuss related diversification.
Thanks, Cole. So, Lockheed Martin has successfully expanded into new industry segments such as space exploration, artificial intelligence, and different climate technologies, and they are all closely aligned with their core aerospace and defense business. One major project that Lockheed Martin was a part of was the development of the Orion spacecraft for NASA's Artemis program, which traveled 270,000 miles into space. In AI, Lockheed Martin is advancing defense and space technologies such as the DARPA Artificial Intelligence Reinforcements Program, which focuses on tactical self-autonomy for airborne missions. They've also built over 100 Earth observation and weather satellites to better understand and predict climate challenges that are going on worldwide. This strategic diversification allows Lockheed Martin to generate long-term revenue and increase their market share. By leveraging their advanced research and development capabilities and top talent, they continuously innovate while meeting customer demands. While these new ventures are in familiar areas, there is still some risk involved, as these projects are very complex. There are also some financial risks, as usually there is a lot of upfront costs associated with getting into these projects. However, Lockheed Martin's experience and expertise make these expansions a smart and rewarding move.
Lockheed Martin operates under a matrix organizational structure, which greatly benefits their operations. This structure enhances overall communication, promotes project efficiency, and fosters a culture of innovation and growth. The matrix structure allows employees to work across different departments, collaborating with various teams on multiple different projects. This not only improves communication within the company, but also ensures employees understand the overall strategic objectives, which drive alignment across the organization as a whole. One of the key benefits of the matrix structure is increased project efficiency. Employees report to both a functional manager who oversees skill development and a project manager who ensures deadlines are met. This dual reporting system enhances coordination, making it easier for Lockheed Martin to manage large, complex projects, like the development of new fighter jets and advanced missiles. This matrix structure also encourages continuous skill development and a culture of innovation, as employees work on diverse, cutting-edge technologies. Lockheed Martin's matrix structure aligns perfectly with their broad differentiation strategy. The structure encourages cross-department collaboration, ensuring the best talent is used efficiently. Teams from research and development, aeronautics, and missile systems can work together easily, which constantly pushes new ideas and ensures high-quality, innovative products. This approach is critical as military technology needs evolve rapidly, and Lockheed Martin must continually innovate to meet these demands. Their matrix structure supports their forward and backward vertical integration strategy, which improves efficiency and effectiveness. Lockheed Martin's organizational model ensures they stay at the forefront of the global aerospace and defense industry by leveraging talent and fostering a culture of continuous improvement, innovation, and growth.
Lockheed Martin fosters a strong culture of innovation, supporting over 70 work-based learning programs for young employees to grow and expand their talents. They also provide basic healthcare benefits and base their employees' bonuses on their ability to meet objectives and hit cross-unit goals. This is intended to motivate a value-creating behavior within the company. The yearly bonus plan is also devised by the board of directors. Lockheed Martin's performance monitoring system prioritizes goal-setting, continuous feedback, and regular manager-employee conversations over the traditional annual reviews. This approach, supported by training and change management strategies, helps employees identify strengths and areas for improvement. Technology is used to track performance and guide decisions on promotions and development. The focus on ongoing development and mentorship has also reduced turnover in the previous years, allowing the company to retain its skilled and engaged workforce.
To make a long story short, Lockheed Martin is a dominant player in the global defense contractor industry, serving the NATO-aligned and U.S. segment security.
God bless America.
With market-leading product selections, innovation, and company efficiency. Going forward for Lockheed, we suggest the company to seriously consider the following 2 recommendations. Firstly, we recommend taking the aging population problem seriously, as North America in particular sees less and less engineers entering the workforce, largely due to population demographics and lack of education. The Boston Consulting Group estimates that there could be nearly 1 in 3 engineering roles being unfilled each year through at least 2030. This, coupled with the fact that Lockheed has a concerningly high employee turnover rate of 20%, poses a significant challenge. Young employees are leaving Lockheed within 3 years of work. It is crucial for Lockheed Martin to retain as much of its workforce as possible, so we recommend tweaking corporate culture such that work environments are as enjoyable as possible. For example, rolling out better work environment research systems and implementing the wants and needs of employees into the environment is key. This way, Lockheed can avoid losing top talent and their future workforce to competitors.
Our second recommendation for Lockheed Martin is to diversify their customer base into the private sector. Currently, over 90% of Lockheed Martin's revenue comes from government contracts, and we believe that it can diversify its customer base without having to change much of their current operations. Diversifying their customer base will de-risk the company while allowing for future growth. We believe they could do this by taking their existing products and modifying them to be sold to corporations. An example of this is their Astrorad anti-radiation vest that is currently used in space to combat radiation, as seen in the photo in the bottom right. This product could be used by nuclear energy companies or first responders responding to nuclear disasters. This isn't the only product that could be modified and sold to other customers. We believe that a lot of their cybersecurity products that Lockheed Martin sells to the US government could be used by large corporations to defend against cyber attacks. These products and more could be sold to private corporations and de-risk Lockheed Martin by diversifying its customer base.
That's all she wrote. Thank you so much for listening to our presentation. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for a great semester. We'll see you soon.